Well, let's get started.
All right, I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm in the hot seat.
A
I
little
stay
bit,
in
a
the
little
hot
bit.
seat.
Nah, you're a champion.
Yeah, you a champ.
Hey.
We're here with champion Ellis Barfield with Lynwood High School. He is third overall CIF Southern Section all winningest coach. And he also tallies in 10 CIF Southern Section championships, 6 CIF regional state championships, and 5 state championships, which is a whole lot of championships.
That's what joke where I tell all my friends, just call me champion.
That's it. You're the
Yeah, we'll
champ.
call you champ all day. We're here with champ.
No, I really tell the team that when I refer to the team, I refer to them now as champions. And that's a fun thing
right.
to do,
That's
just to greet
earned.
them that way.
That's right. That's right. They all earned and deserve it.
Yes.
So you're getting into is my math adding up? Are you approaching your 30th season?
You're definitely right.
Wow.
I started as head coach in 92-93 season.
Okay.
Wow.
I've actually been at Lynwood coaching more than 30 years. I started at about 3 years as JV coach.
Okay.
Before I became the head varsity coach. So I did my time a little bit. I didn't just jump in as head varsity, but it kind of seemed like it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, during the time. But time flies.
I was just going to say that 30 years has gone fast.
Man.
It's gone extremely
It's gone
fast, at least
fast.
from our
Our
end.
perspective. Yeah.
Glad you tallied it up because I couldn't.
We got it for you.
I would have started stuttering. I don't keep count. That's a hard thing to do. Numbers, especially after this period of time when you just keep going. You just look forward to you're always plotting and planning like, okay, what I got to do to get ready for, next upcoming season to get, these kids ready, to get them in that frame of mind and that, winning mentality.
Mm-hmm. And I think what makes that so special is that you are a decorated Black coach that represents the community and represents winning. I know that was important for me when I was growing up, just knowing that there was a coach like you down the street who was represented winning and success and a program that was worth something. So just talk about your representation and what got you into coaching.
My sisters.
Okay.
That's what got me into coaching. I never dreamed of being a coach. I never even thought about it. I wanted to be playing professional basketball. I wanted to go to college on a scholarship. I'm the oldest in my family, and we migrated from Mississippi when I was about 3 years old, came to LA. I went to middle school and everything. And before I knew it, we were shipped to New York. I went to Rochester, New York for a school year and then came back to LA. So during those times, then we moved from LA to Compton and then from Compton to Lynwood. That's how I landed at Lynwood. So I'm actually alumni class of 83.
Oh, wow.
And I was the experimental baby because I was the first and I moved around so much. But the thing was what kept me and helped me fit in was sports. And basketball was the thing I wanted to do. My dad was actually a baseball player and he really wanted me to play baseball, like birthdays and Christmas. I would get gloves and bats and different things that he would pitch to me in the backyard. I couldn't pitch to him. I would have to catch his 95 power. But he was like that. The thing was, I would be playing baseball. I was on a little league team. I'd be looking over at the basketball courts, seeing everybody move in and run in. And, that was me. I'm like, I'm standing here in right field, waiting for a hit. It's going to never come. You just get bored.
You're just trying to get shots up.
Yeah, and I'm looking over, they're having fun and movement. And, it's just, I don't know. It's just something with basketball that always kind of made me. I mean, I ran track, I played a little bit of football and all that, but basketball was it. It did something for me. And just sitting at the TV watching the Lakers way back in the day, all that inspired me. So I wanted to be able to make life easier for my siblings. And I was able to do that through sports. So I was a coach before I knew it because everything I was learning, I was teaching it to them. Even if we were in a room, I would have them up doing jumping jacks, running in plays. We're doing push-ups. We're doing all that. We getting ready. We're going to stay ready. My sister, I had her running against boys in the street, running in races and just doing stuff. But mainly just teaching them, how to be a student athlete. And before you know it, here I am older, finished school and everything. And my sister, between her junior and senior year, they had a coaching change. And a lot of people were asking me, and I was like, what? All I did was come and take my sister to camps in the summer and, keep her active. And I'm alumni and everything, but I'm still trying to play. I'm thinking about even going overseas.
Right.
Before you know it, the athletic director and assistant principal, all these were my former coaches when I was in high school, came to me and asked me, would I accept the job of head coach? I could see the potential in these kids. And I'm like, if they want me as head coach, I'll definitely lead them. Not a problem at all. I had made my commitment day one there, and they made their commitment. And it was a really good bond, a really good feeling, because we went undefeated. It was some games people questioned, what I was doing, because, hey, this guy is subbing out the first 5 and putting in the second 5. What is he doing? Like, they should be blowing the team out by 30 or 40, and they're only winning by 10. But I had a plan, and people didn't understand that, because as assistant coach and as a player, I wasn't always the greatest player. I wasn't always a starter. I worked hard for that. And you learn that as a coach. You like, you know what, you got to give some people some opportunity, because if you only play that first 5, if something happens, you're in turmoil. Yeah. And if those kids get complacent, I'm a starter. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. And you got kids working hard. To me, you reward them. Mm-hmm. So I wanted our bench to be just as strong as our starters, just in case anything happened. But most of all, give all the kids an opportunity. And I felt we all will contribute, and we all will feel like winners at the end of of it all. Yeah, I had a lot of people who didn't like that and were heckling, but we went undefeated. I mean, and I'm like,
right.
Yeah, I'm like, now shut up.
Yeah.
So
just call me champ and sit back.
Yeah. So I'm seeing, like, my style of play now is carrying over to a lot of teams. I even watch the NBA. Like, your second team, you have to have a second team.
Yes, you do.
And you have to have players prepared to step in. Now, the motto is next man up, all that. But that happened to us. The year before I was head coach, we had 2 All-American players on our team. They never came out of the game, and we never subbed hardly. And I've been working, my job as assistant coach was to develop, all these other players. And I started developing these kids, and I'm like hitting to the coach, like, so-and-so can go in right now. She can step up. But he didn't believe in that. Mm-hmm. And when I became head coach, I was able to implement that system and that style. And I'm still doing that till this day.
Yeah. Right.
A lot of people, they'll say, like, hey, he plays his whole team. He plays, who does that? Who plays the bench, goes deep into the bench like that? And I'm like, this is what I do. This is my style.
And that's what makes you different, because there's so many other big high school programs out there who played their 5 to 7 players, and that 8 through 10 kid are equally as talented, and they never see a minute, and they never develop, they never get experience, and they still have collegiate dreams, but they just weren't in that 5 to 7. So they never stepped on the court, and so many kids just get lost, and I think that it's a testament to you and your program, because you do, every kid does come through and get an opportunity.
Yeah. To me, it's on the coach too. You have to develop kids. That's your job as a coach, to come through. That's what we're supposed to be about. It's not where it's like microwave, where things now, you just try to get in all these players, maybe from club teams all together coming in or whatever. And my thing is coaching. I like the process. I like to see kids develop. I like to see kids that come in hungry, maybe not have all the tools, but you give them opportunity to get a skill set.
Yep.
And those kids appreciate that. My least players, after they graduate, still come back and they want to coach. They want to do things. And it's just a good feeling inside, because no matter if that kid came in talented or not, when they left out the door, they were different. They were better.
Absolutely.
Mentally and physically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I enjoy about it.
Yeah. That's what's been so great about you, Ellis, is that you pour into the child.
Yeah.
And it's not just, and you use basketball as the tool to do that. And I think it has showed. I mean, we played when you were still coaching a course. And it was something that I admired just about you from afar, is that you saw how fearless those girls were, how determined, how hard those girls, they will run through a wall for you. But that's because they knew that you were pouring into them and it was genuine. And it could be hard to find that, because a lot of coaches and programs, let's be real, all they care about is winning, the plaques and the wins.
Yep.
They forget why you're really here, what the job entails.
Right. No, I appreciate that. And that's what I want. You know, I grew up in church. So one of the things I took from church, my biggest takeaway is let your light shine. And through that, others will see. And my thing is, my kids even know, like, my players say, wear your rings. I don't wear none of the rings. I don't even wear jewelry really, but the thing is, if that's your thing, that's cool, but I don't do it for that. You know, I tell them what I really do it for. And of course, we're working hard. We want to win. We want championships. But my biggest championship for you to leave here and further your education, use this as a tool. Use this experience to help you in your life, because it's helped me get so many places. And it's just a testimony to me and my coaching, my longevity, because I still wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here talking to you guys today if I just, it was all about the wins, because you're going to lose some. You're going to go through those valleys where the talent pool is a little lower, and you got to work with some kids that, maybe just started playing basketball. You got to do all that. So it's a grind. And to the, younger coaches coming up, and to the other coaches that I've seen come and go, where your heart's got to be in. You got to love what you're doing, and you got to have a passion for it, just like you want the players to have it. Like, why you come as a coach and don't have these things that you're saying? So
model it, please. Right. I know you say you lose count with championships and whatnot, but with that development, do you know how many kids you've sent on to college or whatnot?
No, I lost count.
Oh,
I lost count. But I have kids that text me randomly, and some just say, "Thank you, coach." That's more genuine to me. But to further their education, that's the biggest thing. I've lost count. I have so many kids that are coaching. Like, I know you guys know Sade Wiley Gatewood.
Oh yeah, San Diego.
Yeah, she was able to come to one of my games. We had to go in our first round in regionals. We had to go to Mission Hills in San Diego and play. And I'm riding, like, on my way up, getting on a bus, and I'm looking at my phone, and I see a text from Sade. It's like, "Coach, I need a ticket."
Yeah, I love it. That make you feel so good, though.
I'm like, "Sade, you're on the guest list. I'm going to text this right now." And if they give you any problems, you come in with the staff. But she was in the championship games too. She was in regionals as well. She went to CIF and won a championship this year, but it was the same a few years ago when she was at a different team. But having your former players that are coaching, that are playing, it's a great feeling. It's nothing that money can replace. Absolutely. And to see them giving forward. And we went on to win our regionals. They end up losing, and she said, "We should have won, coach. We were better than that team," and blah, blah, blah. And I just had to let her know, "Sade, you're already winning. You're winning, and you'll be back there on that stage again." Because I remember when I had her as a freshman, and we went all the way to CIF championship in the regionals, and then we lost to Norbonne, and she fell out on the floor, and she was crying. And I went out and picked her up and just told her, "We'll be back. Don't cry. I love your passion, but let's go. We're coming right back." And that's just motivation. And just, same thing I'm able to tell her as, now coach to coach. "Sade, you'll be back." And that's what you got to let those kids know. You'll be right back there.
That's right.
But you're already winning. Look where you got these kids. Look what you turned that program around. And look at, the blessing you are in return. But look at the opportunity. I'm looking at your life, your legacy that you're leaving, but what you started. I mean, who could say they played for Pat Summit? Like, how many people can
Seriously.
say that?
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely. Now with your level of success, Ellis, you've made a decision to stay at Lynwood. And we know you could have gone on. You could have been UCLA. You could have been LSU. You could have been wherever you wanted to go. Coach a USA team. What kept you here?
I did. I could be kind of pat myself on the back and say, oh, I'm so humble and I'm like this, I'm grounded and that's, it for me. But my goal is one day to coach college ball.
Okay.
And I could not sit here and lie to you and say I don't think about it, because I go to college games and my players that play for different schools, and I look and I see some things and I think I can do I can do some things. And I'm not putting anybody down. I don't put anybody down. I don't want to do that. But I've been asked to come aboard with other coaches and, and do different things. And I'll tell them, yes, I will. But in my heart, I knew I would want to go in as a head coach. It would be really difficult to go in as an assistant coach, knowing that you've been leading so long. It's hard for you just to, kind of like, and that person has to have that same, something about them that we got to be like besties or something where I know
that's tough.
I know your move, because some people are just different.
Yep.
Their style of coaching or the way they think or whatever. And I've been there. I've been assistant before, and I've been assistant USA basketball. I've been those things. And I would say the right opportunity and the right place to give me an opportunity as a Black male coach in a female sport. It's not as easy. I've seen a lot of male coaches kind of like die off quickly if they don't turn a program around or not given the same opportunity. It's a lot of things I've seen that politics play that I would be kind of upset at. I would be in the right, I would have that frame of mind to deal with that going in, knowing that people will give me a fair opportunity and treat me right. Every year at Lynwood, there's always someone walks in the door that wants your 4-year commitment.
I know.
So
I know it.
It's been difficult. A lot of former players, their sisters or former players, their daughters. I'm like, man, I've been here that long.
You're seeing generations.
Right. I look up and I'm like, it's been 30 years. Yeah. And a lot of people ask that same question. Why? What do you have to prove? Like, what more do you have to do? And I say, you know what? Until God's give me some type of sign and say, you know what? Think I would be a coach. How can you just say, okay, now I'm gonna put a timeline on something that came to me in a way where it's like ministry. So it's different. It's different for me. I don't know about anybody else, but it's different for me. So my reasons, for staying and also being alumni of where I'm coaching at. So you have roots and everything. So my main goal, I'll tell you what my main goal was when I got through with my sisters, my nieces and my cousins, was to make sure my kids got through.
Right.
Yeah, I had to make sure my kids got through. I was like, it's no way I'm going to do all this and not be there for my daughters and my son. They all came through Lynwood.
Right.
Then they all eventually got scholarships and everything and went on through sports. And then people were like, okay, he's going to leave now.
They're all through. It's over now.
But I was like, no, you're not going to put that on me. No. When the time is right, or, whenever that change happens, I feel like that from the heart. I mean, I'll step away. But right now, I'm just like I'm always a child at heart. That's just the way I am. So I'm having fun with it. I love it. The kids I have are still coming, are passionate. So that's what keeps me going.
So you had some special kids on the roster this year. And
yes.
And all of that factors in, I'm sure, to just putting everything together as a whole to become a championship team. So let's talk about those special, that secret sauce and that ingredient and everything that goes into just creating this special championship team.
Well, two I'll definitely start off with, and that's Rhea Marshall and Berlia Taylor. Berlia is BKA Nunu. Nunu Taylor. And she was actually the first one I came across. And she was working out in our gym, and people were like, Coach Ellis, you got to meet Nunu. You got to see Nunu. But I was moving some stuff one day from a classroom to the bungalows and back, because I finally got the principal to give us a nice bungalow where I could put our team stuff, put our pictures up and all that. And so this little girl back here, like doing hesitations and all this, it's a little court back here in the bungalows, like a little, hoop and stuff. And I'm watching. And I'm watching her go. I said, "Oh, you're pretty good. You're pretty good, but you only go right." I said, "Here, let me show you something." So whoever she was playing, I moved them to the side. Say, "Here, let me give you a try." And I stole the ball from her a couple of times. Then I asked her name. It's like, I was like, "Oh, you Nunu." Okay. I've been hearing a lot about you. I said, why don't you come out and watch us practice a little bit and see if you're interested, because I would love for you to start working out with our team. And, we got a development team, we have JV, and we have a varsity team, and we play AAU ball during the summer. And so she said, okay. And sure enough, next day she was at the door, peeking in, watching and everything. You never know who's watching. You
That's
never
right.
know. So full circle back. Nunu started working out with us and everything, and we started playing her. And then a few other kids. Another guy called me. He was a middle school coach, and he told me about Rhea Marshall. And both of them, the aunt for Nunu and Rhea's mom, they were really good people, and they wanted better situations for their kids.
Yes.
And I guess from them knowing background, people talking to them about me, that they had that trust. And that's one thing I was really high on. But during that time, Rhea and Nunu, when they first came as ninth graders, they stepped right in and played varsity. Rhea just kept growing and growing. She came to us about already 5'11", and just as long as it's like a little tree. And everybody's like, who's that little skinny girl? But I was like, always telling them, you better keep your eye on her.
Mm-hmm.
And one summer we played in Atlanta, and Ashley Austin, one of our star point guards, went down with a concussion. And as a coach, you're watching your kids, like who's stepping up and stuff. And this is when I first moved Rhea Marshall to a point guard as about a 6-footer. She was about 6'1" at that time. And so I told her, hey, you bring the ball up. I'm going to make everybody in this gym like turn their heads, because he's the tallest player on the court, bringing the ball up. So I know what they're capable of doing. And Rhea was never shy about shooting the ball. And that's the thing. And I'm looking there, I called her KD, and everybody, once they seen her play, they was like, man, she plays like KD.
Yep.
And Nunu, she loves Steph Curry. So she tried to emulate, her, Curry type of game. But these were ballers. They were hoopers, and they had grades. So that was the other good thing. Their parents were involved with them. So they just, some people are hoopers and not, conditioned and want to go to class. So I had a balance of both. So I knew their future could be very bright. And I'm looking at, hey, by the time you guys years come around, we're going to have some more banners up there on that wall. And just to hear them give you that feedback and say, yes, coach, you're right. But kept them close to me, bonded them. Now they're the best of friends. It's funny how you just, had that bridge kind of reach each other and mold that. But it's a sisterhood that'll last a lifetime. Absolutely. Regardless, especially when you go as a champion, through everything. So they've been through all the battles and all the wars. So this made it extra special being their senior year, going through COVID and all that without this, season even being promised to us. So it's just like icing on the cake, because to me, with every championship, you need a chip on your shoulder. You need a reason to be going in there. It just came out, we just come to compete. We good, and we're going to take it all. That ain't it. You got to have something. It has to be something motivating you every time you step on that floor. That was what we got from these kids. But Rhea Marshall went on. My goals for her, especially with her abilities and how she stayed in the gym, how she worked, make USA basketball, become a McDonald's All-American, be able to attend the school that you want to attend, not the school that you have to go to because they're the only few that are recruiting you, but where you want to go. That was my goal. And you come from the inner city. You don't have to come from, the big private school with the big name behind them, right? You coming from Lynwood. Right. Even though that was my goal also as a coach. There's going to be a baller factory coming out of here, girls basketball factory coming out, where people will say, hey, these kids can make it. And that's what I would say. If I made it out of here, you can make it out of here. If you can make it out of Lynwood, you can make it anywhere, because there's so much to influence you to go the other direction. And we had so many kids that come through your programs, or, different kids, but you can see the ones with that mentality, and you just know they can make it. And you want to be that rock for them to keep them on course. So that's what I was able to do. And yes, this was a special class of kids. So honestly, son finished with us, but she joined the Navy. And how many kids you know out of high school join the Navy that can get a basketball scholarship? So that was beautiful for her. And 2 sport athletes. She ran track too, played basketball. So did Jada Turner, ran track and played basketball. But they committed, when they got to me, they committed to basketball. And this year, what made it a little bit easier is that all the seasons, combined.
Right, so you choose one.
Pick a sport. You could play multiple sports.
Right.
But special group of kids, Leah Shaw, Jada Latiti. These kids were in our Lynwood development program. So these kids started raw and just worked their way on up. You can look back, all these kids I pretty much had from middle school to high school.
In the system.
So that's what makes it, yes, extra special.
Wow. That time, that dedication and consistency to earn that goal. Yes,
because we traveled a lot. We got a chance to really bond. We had a lot of teams in our league cancel games. We played out of 7 days. I kid you not, we played 5 days of straight basketball against some of the highest level of competition this year on our schedule. Because we had to fill in games and we had to get those games quick to help us for playoffs.
Oh, goodness.
And so we took lemons and made lemonade because it just for us to have a season, we barely got in the gym before leagues. They started our league up, with all the COVID testing and stuff the kids had to go through. We had to wait. So they only allowed us like to condition outside first. Then they barely start letting us use a basketball outside, all these little things. But it just motivates you more. Like these people don't understand. These girls, they don't even have to be here and they're here. So just to see us go through that, and our AD was like, you can't play all these games. Like, you're going back-to-back game. I was like, look, we don't even know if so-and-so in our league is going to play us. They might forfeit just like the first couple of, games in league. There were forfeits. We dressed up and ready to go with the bus, getting ready to get on the bus, and they tell us so-and-so is not going to play.
Oh, my God.
Right.
Wow.
Right. And those teams didn't even do any makeup games. They didn't even want to make up the games.
They were just canceling.
So it was weird. Yeah, they were canceling, but we found out, and I don't want to throw any names out there, they only canceled on us. They played everybody else. There was one team that played everybody, but didn't play us. Okay. And then still played in the playoffs. Yeah, but I'm not going to say no names, but I was like, that made it more understanding why they canceled at last minute and didn't do it. Like, you thought you were leaving us under the bus. But I want to tell them, you made it better for us because we got better competition to play against that helped prepare us for our journey. Because never, all my years of coaching, we played that many games in season and played that quality of competition to help prepare us. And our girls didn't even think about it. And of course, I thought about it this way too. I said, you know what? They like it better. We just playing all these games and not all these practices. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So,
The girls are like, cool.
They're not going to complain. But the thing was, we had been through a regimen like that in Atlanta, and I reminded them of that. And I told our AD, I said, we went and played in Atlanta where I played in the Nike Tournament of Champions and played in ASGR, played in their tournament at Swanee Creek. We were going back and forth, playing 2 games a day for about 10 days.
Ooh-wee.
And we finished off playing in a top 10 camp at the end.
Oh, wow.
And nobody got injured. Nobody got hurt. But we were trying to get the most for our money being there. We're going to be in Atlanta 10 days. We're going to be playing.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'll give out one secret. We had our team in a nice big Airbnb with our parents, and it was really nice. We made it convenient for us, and but it was a connection that we had. That was one of the best summers that we had. Wow. And going to Atlanta, you were able to take the kids to a lot of the monuments of Dr. King and everything. So it was a lot of learning as well, not just a trip of just complete basketball. So we had a lot of things that we could do and enjoy the culture.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, coming off a championship year and for everything that Varsity you guys had to go through with COVID, how do you reload in such a short span? Season's about to happen again. So you as a coach, how do you reload? How do you get these girls back and ready? Like, what is that process like for you?
I just try to stick with the normal plan. Like usually I give them a couple of weeks off and then we go right back at it. I'll call, or text in a group text, hey, you guys, when do you think you'll be ready? They already know, like coach is already like, he ready to go. So we better not give him no like month or nothing like that. I mean, when you're around the kids and they know your mentality, it's already like that. And those kids, I kid you not, don't come up with no BS excuses about missing. They have legitimate stuff if they have to do. And they're sending that message to anybody else coming to the team. Like, you don't do this.
Set the standard.
And yeah, that's the mindset you want to have, especially at varsity level play, that if there's a reason that you're going to be missing, then we need to know, and it needs to be a real reason. And just not, I don't feel like it this day, or I just didn't want to come. Because I'll tell you, you need to stay at home then, because you don't need to be here. There is work, but we mix it up on stuff that we're doing, and it's a process. And all we ask you for your commitment, because I'm gonna give you everything I got. So I feel that you have to give what you got in return, your time and your commitment. But we've been able to do that. And like I said, as far as reloading, for especially after COVID and all this, you just have to look at all the times that we had off. I never had that much time off in my life. I never had that much time where I was just like, I'm not coaching. There's no tournaments. There's no practices. Like, and the kids were calling me like, coach, they want to do like workouts and stuff. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Even though I wanted to, I can't, I couldn't, because you just didn't know how bad this stuff was. And you didn't want anything coming back on you.
Right.
And even though some coaches, some people were doing it, training or doing whatever, I had to really be disciplined on this one. But in the back of my mind too, I wanted the kids to miss it. I wanted them to miss it. Yeah. Because the more you miss it, the more hungry you're going to become, to come back. Because I keep that hunger. I keep that chip. As a coach, you got to have that, because kids don't know. Sometimes you have to don't you know, like 10 years ago, before you even existed, these teams we beat, they're going to be trying to kill us. So.
Right?
Yes.
They still coming for our head.
They still feel some type of way.
Yeah, I'm like, they don't understand. If you don't understand tradition, then I'm going to have to let you know something.
Yeah.
But they have no idea of some of these teams like we played back in the day, and they wait for any dent in the armor or whatever. So that's the way you look at it. That helps get you back on track, because I got to see these teams again.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so I look at it that way. Like, mentally we had all that time off, and right now I know we're revving up and got to get back into it. I even have parents take, when is the next practice? When are you guys
People are hungry.
A couple of weeks off.
Like you said, that COVID allowed people to miss it, and you usually don't get an opportunity to miss it, unfortunately, unless you get injured. So having a situation as such, just like, oh my God, I took this for granted. I didn't even know how much I took it for granted.
Right. Yeah, it's up and running. And the thing right now especially with universities having kids doing an extra year, all this. So kids you have to have, like, some kids need extra exposure. They need to game film. They need to, be seen. It's a lot into it. Yeah, it's not much time for the weary right now.
Oh yeah, you're working. Wow, working. Okay, well, if nothing else, we're gonna unlace you and show you what shoe we have on deck for you.
We gotta see this.
Yours was difficult and easy at the same time, because, like I said, I knew you were a shoe head.
Right.
But then there's also just so many shoes that can represent success and what you're doing. And I ended up coming on with the Jordan 4 Bread, because
wow.
Right,
that's my shoe.
That's your shoe.
Wow,
see, I felt it.
You were right.
And we chose it because you are continuously breeding champions out there in Lynwood, just year after year. So wow, we felt that connection to that shoe for you, I guess.
That's amazing. And I had that same shoe right there. I got that shoe.
Oh, perfect. Wow. Look at that.
That was right on point.
I love it.
Perfect.
I mean, I'm a shoe head. I love my shoes. I mean, I'm a collector too.
See? Yeah.
I have a story about some Jordans. I got a fresh pair. It was the kind that had the new buck. They call it the new buck, like black suede.
Yeah.
And I was so ready to play in them. I put them on top of my car, got in the car, took off and
Oh, no.
got a few miles away. And I was like,
Wait a
no, I
minute.
didn't.
Oh,
Right.
man.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
Oh no, we need. Yeah.
And
Mm-mm. Oh no, you did.
And I assume
luckily
they
I
weren't
bought
there
him
when
with
you were
a,
back.
oh, no.
Mm.
No,
Oh, it would've been
luckily I had bought him with a credit card and I was able to get him replaced.
Oh,
That was the only blessing in disguise. I was able to replace them. So I was like, thank God, because that was
some years back.
that was a
you
big
can't do
deal.
that now.
Right.
They ain't doing that now.
Right. No, all the scams and stuff now, they'd be like,
goodness.
sorry for you.
Too bad.
Sorry, sir.
Way to donate to the
Right.
community.
Right.
Oh, goodness.
Exactly. I
now
can't
when
thank
you,
you guys enough. That's you can ship that to me. That's size
Right.
13.
What's your size, Ellis?
We're working on that.
13.
Oh man, that's next. That's next. No, but we want to thank you.
You're right on point.
We
Thank
we
you.
were so happy to see that you guys were in the playoffs
Oh, man.
and having the season that you were. So we were happy to see you guys back where you're supposed to be, where you always been.
Hey, it's a blessing. Thank you so much, you guys, for having me and just even thinking of me, just keeping me in mind. Believe me, when I pray for everyone because I know it's really good people, and you guys been steadfast and doing your thing. And I'm happy to see accomplishments you have and what you're doing right now. It's always an impact to the game.
Mhm.
Always. Well, thank you, and we'll see
Thank
what
you
it
so
looks like
much.
next year.
Yeah.
No
We'll be
pressure.
back.
We'll see
No
you here
pressure.
again next year, Chant.
That's right.
We'll be back.
All right. I'll be
All
waiting
right.
on that Amazon delivery for those shoes there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't leave them on top of your roof
Right.
of the car.
No, I can't do
my
that.
Goodness.
I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson.
All right.
Take care. Love
Take
you guys.
care.
Bye, Coach.
All right.